welcome back to From Book to Business. I'm author Trina Boice, best-selling author of 30 nonfiction books. And today I have some great advice to you coming from an expert YouTuber. And she's also going to teach us about how to create a really great media press. So I coach authors, and she's got some really good advice for you, and as well as all you other creatives out there. So with that, I want to introduce you to Jesse Espinosa.
Hi, everybody. I am Jesse. I am the creator and full-time YouTuber known as Sunday Jess on YouTube. And then I have an Instagram that is just Jesse. And Trina is throwing out the good subscribe button out there. So you subscribe to her channel. And then you can also find mine, which will be linked down below.
Exactly. Oh, you can tell you're a pro because you know how to say all of that stuff really fast. Yeah. So actually, Jesse's got a great YouTube channel, which we're going to talk about, and then a really popular Instagram. We're going to talk about how to tie those together, and of course, a blog where she's got this media kit, which I think is great. So let's first of all start off with, how did you start becoming a YouTuber, and how did you build your YouTube channel so fast? That's what everybody wants to know.
So, I mean, I'm a millennial. I'm 24 years old, so I think it's in our blood, right? But
yes.
I grew up on Instagram, on YouTube. The platforms became really big when I was in junior high, early high school. So whenever I had a question about anything, I went to Google. I didn't have really an older sister or even siblings for that matter. So Google was always my go-to. I think as with many youth and people nowadays as well. So I would always really bond with the creators that I watched on YouTube growing up, and I would love the things that they would make, but I always thought to myself, man, I really wish there was a girl online that shared the same standards and values as I do, being a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I just never really found that, so it was hard to really relate to a lot of the content creators that I watched. So when I came home from my LDS mission in Lima, Peru in 2017, I once again got back into YouTube and was enjoying it. But once again had the same thought that, man, I wish there were other creators that I could kind of relate to. And that's when I thought, hey, maybe I should do that. And let's maybe kind of see how it works.
Yeah.
And yeah. And so I had always had an Instagram, but then that's when I decided to really make my platform, both Instagram and YouTube, really geared to fill the niche of like wholesome content for Latter-day Saint and Christian girls, ages about 15 to 25, and about the common problems that they have, and basically be their internet big sister.
Oh, and I love that. And that message comes out very loud and clear on all of those three platforms, that you are the big sister. And so I love the story behind that. And that's another tip. She just spit out two really fantastic tips. One, find a niche and make it very crystal clear so people can find you, and have a story to tell so that people can actually relate to you. So I love that. Well, that's two reasons why your YouTube channel took off so fast. So what else did you do that built it up so fast?
So one thing I did when it came to actually establishing what kind of content I wanted to make, I thought back to those years in my life, like I said, about 15 to 25, and thought of the problems that I was going through and the advice that I wish I would have received at that age. And so that's kind of how I base my videos. And how I can kind of incorporate the Instagram and YouTube into both of those. So having all this content is great and all, but it's not if no one's watching it. So I knew there were girls out there like me. I just had to find them. So what I did is I went on Facebook and Instagram, and I would search hashtags and Facebook group names under titles and groups of people that I felt I related to, or niches and different things like that. So for example, I found a Facebook group that's called Many Are Called But Few Are Sisters, and it's specifically for sister missionaries getting ready to go out into the mission field. And there's 25,000 girls on that Facebook group.
Wow.
So whenever I made a video talking about sister missionary prep, I would post my video link into that page, and there's 25,000 girls that are interested in that video. So that was a really easy way just to deliver my content to people and make it easier for them to find me. Was through those Facebook groups, and then also using hashtags on Instagram and promoting my content that way. So that way, when people would search the basic things like what kind of shoes should I buy when I go on a mission, or, you know, Christian dating advice, things like that, then my content would come up for them.
That's another fantastic tip. So I've got a question about that, because Facebook groups can be really tricky. You don't want to just jump in and start, buy my stuff, go to this link, right?
Don't do that.
So how much time would you say you spent before you started sharing your content? Because you kind of have to warm up to them. They have to know who you are, right?
Yeah, I honestly probably could have done it a little bit better. The thing was that I felt is that the content I was making and posting into those groups was perfectly relevant to what that group was about. So even though I do make videos about maybe like modest fashion advice, I wouldn't just go shove those links into any Facebook group that had the word Latter-day Saint in it, because it wouldn't resonate with many of the people that were involved in that group. So I didn't want to spam them. And I have gotten kicked out of a few Facebook groups, but I just go back in, reapply, and I post the video, the link to it, as almost like a third party person saying, hey, check this out, this could be helpful, and not, hey, look how great I am, I made this video, here you go.
Right.
But just be subtle with it. Mm-hmm.
So another thing that I've seen that you do on your YouTube channel is a lot of collaborations. In fact, this morning I was watching one on a very sensitive topic, and I loved that it was about the honeymoon, and especially for Christian girls who've saved themselves for the honeymoon, so they're scared and nervous and all of that. And so I love that you brought in an expert to provide credibility as you discuss really embarrassing, sensitive topics.
Yes.
So how do you reach out to create these collabs with other YouTubers? Well, she wasn't a YouTuber, but I've seen you collab with other YouTubers.
So originally when I first started out on YouTube, there were many creators that I really looked up to that were also in the same niche that I was, and it was almost overwhelming and a little bit daunting to be able to reach out to them, because you look at their numbers of subscribers and followers and you think, oh, they would never want to reach out to somebody as low as me and things like that. And so I you know, earned my way there. I put in the effort, so that way when I did reach out to some of these bigger creators, they saw that, you know, hey, I'm serious about this. I really value their time. And then honestly, people aren't as scary as you think they are too. You recently did an interview with Mimi Bascom, who is a really good friend of mine. And 2 years ago, I saw her on YouTube and I thought, oh my gosh, she is so cool. I would love to be her friend. And we were gonna meet at a conference a couple weeks later. And when I met her, I was almost like a little bit like a big fan, but I also wanted her to be on my channel because I thought it could be really beneficial for both of us, but mostly me. And ended up, she was so sweet, she was so kind, she really wanted to help. When you do find a really nice niche, any professionals or other content creators in that area are gonna be really willing to help you out. So don't underestimate how kind people really are. And then when it comes to actually asking professionals and things like that, I think helping them realize how beneficial it is, not just for, you know, you to build your channel, but for them. So with that pelvic floor physical therapist that I had on my channel a couple weeks ago to talk about intimate issues, her and I have established a relationship beforehand outside of this, and I presented her with this video idea, and I thought, hey, this could be really great. It would bring you business in the Utah Valley, because that's where a large portion of my audience is. And it would also be great exposure for her as she's trying to dabble into the digital world of getting her therapy out, and more content surrounding that. So it's kind of a win-win for both of us in that sense. So presenting people with those kind of ideas will entice them to help you more too.
Right, and that's a really great point to point out as you approach them, to say, you know, what, first of all, what can I do for you? And here's what I can do for you in terms of, you know, your digital reach or opportunities or exposure, whatever, visibility, certainly, and helping them to get content for their own blog or their YouTube channel or whatever. So to always be willing to offer and to show benefit for them is a really good point. So another question everybody wants to know is, how do you monetize your YouTube channel? I mean, you're now at the magical point where ads are on your channel and you're making
Yeah.
the YouTube, juice money.
Uh-huh.
But what else do you do?
So I think one important thing to establish first is a lot of people say, oh, if you want to make some extra money, maybe you should start a YouTube channel or Instagram or things like that. And I think that's oftentimes where people do go wrong, is that they think, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make all this money like I see all these other creators make. And it's kind of a reality check when the magical day does come that you are monetized on these platforms, but you realize how slow and minuscule that money does trickle in. It can build up over time, but if that's kind of one of the only reasons that you're doing it, you are going to run out of steam and excitement and passion for the content very quickly. But you can monetize these platforms. Just don't expect it to be in the thousands of dollars, at least not at first. And so for example, with YouTube, the magical monetization number, you have 1,000 subscribers, you have 200,000 hours of watch time. You can gain that. I was able to do that in about 7 months after starting my YouTube channel.
And that's so fast. That's so great.
Yeah, there was a niche that needed to be filled on YouTube, and luckily, I guess my channel was able to fill that for many girls. And so honestly though, it's about $1 for every 300 views that you see people make. So it's not a lot. Where the real money does come is through partnerships with other companies. So when brands reach out to me and they say, hey, we would like you to talk about our product. Once you've kind of established credibility with yourself and your platform, you can say, hey, okay, I would love to promote that product. It really resonates with me and my audience, but I do charge this much for a video or for an Instagram post. So the money, I guess the real money comes from the other brands reaching out to you and collaborations with them, and not necessarily just the monetization of your YouTube channel or running ads on your blog or things like that.
Right. So when you say this is how much I charge, how did you determine that? Is there a standard rate that's out there?
There's not. I wish there was a book because the whole influencer movement has happened very quickly. And just now are people starting to really come out with online courses and books and stuff, helping you kind of grow your way as an influencer. But really, what is the most beneficial is to reach out to other people in your field and ask them, hey, what are you charging? Or what do you think about this? I think networking and using people as kind of mentors is a really beneficial thing. So I reach out to other girls that are similar to me and I ask them, hey, what would you charge in this scenario? Or what do you think about this? And you always have to, I always want to lowball myself. I think, oh, it's not that big a deal. I'm already going to make an Instagram post. I'm already making a video. What's it just to add this product in here? But it actually really is a big deal because this is a form of advertising now. And as a communications major at Utah Valley University, I realized how the world really revolves around advertising. And on social media, that is such a huge vehicle of advertising now. So don't underestimate your reach and your influence. And for companies, if they want to be in the market, if they want to be relevant, they also have to play big. And if they want an influencer to do it, then they got to be ready for that. So.
And I really like your point about reaching out to other people that are in your industry or in your niche. And you mentioned earlier, people are really nice. I respond to every YouTube or Instagram comment. And so many times people will say, oh, I didn't think anybody would actually reply to me. And I'm like, yeah, of course I am. I mean, I'm here. And so when you say, reach out for collabs or reach out and ask other people questions, people really will respond. Some people that have a bazillion subscribers, yeah, maybe they're a little busy. I don't know, because I have reached out and not heard back from those types of people. Yes. But for the most part, everybody is willing to collab. And I think we live in a relationship economy. You said it's all about marketing, but it's all about really who you know and creating those opportunities together. So I love that tip as well. Thanks. Okay, so now let's talk about your blog and that media kit that you put together. Is that something that you point these corporations to so that they can see all your stats? Or tell us how you created that and how you use it.
So I originally heard about media kits probably about a year ago when I was, I think, doing some sort of, influencer online course or reading some sort of book, and they casually threw out the term media kit. And even as a communications major, I had never heard of that. Through all my PR classes and advertising, I'm
That's
like, that
terrible.
sounds like something I should probably have. So I started looking online, and media kits are really essential. It's basically like your portfolio to any brand that you want to work with or business or person you want to collaborate with. When you're in the process of convincing them why it'd be beneficial for them to work with you, because I've even reached out to brands I want to work with and partner with and things like that. And I sent them this media kit to, say, hey, look, this is what I've done. This is what I can do for you and your company. And I think this partnership would work really well. So a media kit is basically, like I said, your portfolio, and in it you have examples of your work. So I have sponsored Instagram post examples that I've done in there. I have all sorts of statistics, all the analytics from my YouTube channel, from my Instagram, and the reach and the influence and the gender ratio and countries that I reach and age demographics and all that stuff. And then for just a little extra emphasis, I've also included comments from girls on my YouTube channels and how much it's helped them and the kind of demographics of the girls that I do reach. And so they can see that, hey, this could be a great opportunity for our company to work with this girl. So a media kit is something that's it's kind of like a little best kept secret. I feel like that not a lot of people talk about, but a lot of really big creators do have them, and they are really beneficial. So,
yeah, I've seen the big influencers with millions of subscribers on their websites. They'll have their media kit, but because a lot of people watching this video are authors, singers, musicians, filmmakers, creatives, a lot of times, surprisingly, when I go to look at their content or to help them as a coach, I'm surprised that they don't have it. So I think it's great. And there are two ways you can do it. I love that it's just readily available on your blog, which is great. Or some people will have on their website, it'll say, contact me for a press kit or a media kit. And that's okay too. But I loved how easy it was to find on your blog. So I highly recommend it. So take a peek at her blog and look at that and see if that's something that you could put together. I think it would be really beneficial.
Yeah, and a little tip is there's an online website called Canva, Canva, and you go on there, you can type in media kit, and it'll give you tons of examples where you can just plug in your own information and download it and put it on your website or wherever you want to post it.
Yeah, fantastic tip, because Canva's free. I love Canva. Yeah. And if you're looking for free, royalty-free images, I always use Pexels and Pixabay. What do you use? Anyway, yeah, so you don't have to spend a lot of money putting all this stuff together.
No, and making it easy for companies to find you is how you end up working with other people. Because if you make it difficult for people to reach you, they're not going to do it. They're going to pick the person that, it's already available on their blog. Right. They can do research with their team before they even reach out to you. So make it easy for other people too.
Exactly. And that is so key in marketing that I tell my clients all the time. If you make clicking and buying a purchase difficult, they're just not going to do it. Make it as easy, simple, and fast as possible. Yeah, another fantastic tip. Thank you so much for sharing your great tips with us today. And as another quick shout out, be sure and subscribe. So again, above and below are her YouTube channel or Instagram and blog.
Yes. And make sure you subscribe to Trina. She's always doing wonderful interviews, and she's so sweet and kind. And thank you so much for having me today on your channel.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And by the way, you can meet both of us in person. We're both going to be speaking at the LDS PMA conference, September 24th to the 26th at the BYU Conference Center in the year 2020, in case you're watching this after 2020, you missed it. But anyway, so yeah, we're both going to be there talking about YouTube and other stuff, other marketing stuff. Yeah. Any final last tips for us before we go?
I think this video, is very niche in and of itself. And we talked about my channel that's very, very niche. And niches scare people sometimes. They want to appeal to many audiences. But I think the important thing is that it's more impactful to reach a small amount of people in big ways than it is to just speak to the masses.
Ooh,
So
I like that. I'm going to quote that. I'm going to write that up above. That was good. That was gold.
So yeah, focus on your niche and don't be afraid to really own that area of the internet, your own little corner.
It's quotable. That's Instagrammable. I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much. And we will see you later on YouTube.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Trina.
Bye for now.